Category of custom duties. These are imposed on the goods and articles imported and exported out of the territory of the People's Republic of China. The previous mentions are different groups in which the taxes are grouped. Because it's such an extended list, it is impossible to mention them all. However, I will indeed mention the most important one in the economy, the VAT. As mentioned before, it is an indirect tax including the buying of any good in China. This means that it includes the agriculture, forestry products, of animal husbandry, aquatic products, natural gas, methane gas, and all of this fall under the category of 30% tax rate. However, there are some products like crude oil, mine salts, and goods which fall under a 17% tax rate. Another category is business tax, which all enterprise units, households, business, and other individuals engaged in the provision of taxable service fall into. Some of the taxable items are communication and transportation, construction, post and telecommunication, culture and sports. All of this fall under a 3% of tax rate. Others like financial and insurance business fall under an 8%. Entertainment fall under a 5 to 20%. Service transfer of intangible assets, sales of immovable properties fall under a 5%. Individual income tax is that applies to anyone that has lived in China for more than a year. They have to pay individual tax. The balance of the taxpayer monthly wages and salary after a lump sum deduction of 800 yen as expenses. Individual tax rate schedules on the Beijing website of taxation. Here I will tell you some examples about that. The part of income excess of 500 to 2,000 yen falls under a tax rate of 10%. However, this is a progressive tax. Therefore, if you find someone that has an income of about 40,000 to 60,000, the tax rate increases to 30%. Moreover, we have farmland occupation tax. This tax is for any taxpayer that occupies farmland of building, construction, or for other non-farm purpose. This tax is imposed on all states-owned and collectively owned crop planting land, and also newly developed land and wasteland, fallow land, land for rotation crops, land for grass and crops. Into consideration, it is taken the idea of the average size of each farmland and the local economy situation. This is what actually occurs based on the tax dictionary of Beijing, which states the annual amount of tax payable per square meter is taken count as the administrative region for the calculation. As it can be seen, China's distribution of income has changed. It acts as a progressive system with 25 different taxes. This occurs because China's population is the world's #1, the biggest one in other words, that needs an organized method of redistribution, equally the income. It is also crucial to mention that China has one of the future systems as the gap between the rich and the poor become less obvious because of this taxation.
Welcome back to Ecovision. We have been previously talking about the distribution of income in the UK and China. We have our guest, Gustavo Escobar and Melissa Delgado, to discuss a little bit how the taxation system is in the government policies, child benefits, etc. But the question is, why do we need to know all of this? Why is today's topic the Lorenz curve and we're talking about taxation? Well, basically because there's a link between both of them. We want basically to give you a base, a solid base about the topic that we will be discussing. The Lorenz curve is based on taxation and, of course, in the distribution of income. So basically, in the UK, we have, for example, the VAT, which is the strongest one in the European Union, and we actually are now, in a moment, seeing how much influence it has. From China, we will be seeing why does it have so many tax systems, or why basically it has this policy of one child. So wait for a second and we will be explaining